All right. Well, good morning and happy Saturday, everybody. For those of you that I've not met, my name is Jamie Swanson, and I have been a Pampered Chef consultant and leader for 20 years now. I started my business back in May of 2002, and I really started because I wanted the food chopper that happened to be in the kit. I was 24 years old. I loved cooking. I had already added several $100s worth of Pampered Chef products to my kitchen, and so it just really made sense for me to try this little business for just a couple of months. And obviously, I love that God had a much bigger plan than I ever could have imagined. So today I'm bringing you guys a Zoom workshop based on some low carb ideas, like recipes, because I know back in 2020, I just got to the point that I was like, I'd always just been okay with who I was and happy, but I was like, I've got to make a change. And some of my neighbors and friends had really started, what they had done was keto. So I'm not going to totally focus on keto because, everybody's journey is their journey, but keto has worked great for me. So a lot of what I will do today is kind of keto focused, but my main focus is really just to talk about some low carb. We'll mainly talk about main dish ideas because I've got great recipes. What I really want to show you are some of the shortcuts, the in-between things, because I think what gets most of us is the in-between meal snacking, because we can, you can grill a chicken breast or do whatever. So we will have some main dish ideas. But the main focus is low carb, but a lot of my focus has been on keto. So when for a year and a half, I followed keto and I dropped 40 pounds and kept it off. We went to Disney last June and I still feel like I'm at Disney. So probably about half of that has come back. So when I got back from our national conference this Monday, I got back into gear and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you guys will be my accountability and I'm excited to share. Now, for those of you that have followed a keto plan, there's great resources just online. You can Google so many things. I've got a couple of recipe books. I got this one just at Walmart. I actually got a couple at Walmart, but this is Easy Keto for Busy People, because if it's got more than about 5 or 6 ingredients, even though I love to cook, you can count me out. And I don't consider salt and pepper, butter, oil, those ingredients. So like the 4 or 5 main things. For those that, most of you probably know I'm pretty Southern. So my neighbors had gotten a Southern keto book. So that was really appealing to me. And I've got 2 out on loan right now, but I've got a keto for the pressure cooker, so like an Instant Pot type keto cooker, and then I also have one for an air fryer. So anyway, if you're a recipe follower, which I am not, I like to get inspiration. Those are some great resources that I found. Because we are recording this, if you're going to have a lot of background noise, do everybody a favor and go ahead and hit the mute button, so we'll get a nice clean recording. Hopefully the way that I've got this set up is, well, I've got mine for the recording for speaker view. So if you want me to be in the big view, make sure on your computer or device you select speaker view. If you want to see everybody kind of like I call it the Brady Bunch, then you'll just select gallery view. But what happens is if your dog barks, the doorbell rings, you're going to take over the screen if you do have noise. However, I do want this to be very interactive. So feel free to stop me and ask questions or add, like if you do something similar or something completely different, I want to know. I want you to share with me exactly what you're doing. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is these are some great little low carb snacks that I do. One is actually going to be a dessert, and one is going to be like a little snack. So they're little, gosh, I don't even know the name of them. I just call them like savory, little savory cream cheese balls. And then the other one is going to be like a desserty one. So a lot of what I do incorporates cream cheese. So back when cream cheese was so hard to find, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. And oftentimes I get the store brand because I think it's just as good, but I feel like cream cheese is kind of tough to get again. So the first thing I'm going to do, one of the big things that I do is I read a lot of labels. Okay. So one of the things that I realized when I first started going into a low carb or lower carb diet is so many of the things that I was eating that you just wouldn't think about. Like if I'd eat a hot dog bun is like, I think 24 grams of carbs. My personal daily suggested amount for weight loss was 26 carbs. So when I was eating 2 hot dogs and then a bag of chips, or 2 hot dogs with the bun and some fries, that really was wrecking what I was doing. So a lot of what I did without being, I don't even know what a macro is. So don't feel like you got to count those things. There's ways that you can find that out. But I just started like eliminating the big things. So I would still eat my 2 hot dogs, maybe a few fries, but I would have the hot dogs without the bun. So really just making wise decisions. I am the queen of label reading these days, and even my kids do that too. They're like, how many sugars are in there? How many carbs are in there? So that's been a handy thing. If you need, especially in the beginning, if you're trying to do some great weight loss, find a tracker that you love. So there was one I used, My Carb Manager was a great one, because you could scan labels. I could just take the 3 ingredients that I'm going to make, whatever recipe, and add it in there, and it would give me, where I was at, and then it would show me like how much, how many carbs I'd had for the day, how much fat I had eaten, because there is a great little, there's just a formula that you need for weight loss. So the big thing is checking out those carbs, and then really just knowing what you need for either maintenance or weight loss to figure that out. So I love to make homemade peanut butter, and so I do that in my blender. I personally think that the honey roasted peanuts are way better, but that you've got those added sugars that that really get us. So these peanuts I get at Aldi. They're about $1.89 per container, and it's got 6 carbs, but it's also got 2 fibers. So anytime you've got fiber, you can deduct that. So we're down to 4 carbs per serving with that. So that's a great little snack that you can enjoy. So I still use jar peanut butter often, but this is so fresh and so delicious. So I'm going to put this right here in my blender, and I'm gonna grind those up. So it takes about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. So I'm gonna let you guys see it for just a little bit, and then I'm gonna mute my device just so you don't have to. I can't really talk over it necessarily, but you'll see after about 20 seconds, I'm gonna go in there with this little tamper to get things moving around with the peanuts, just so it doesn't stick. So I've got it on the grind setting, and then we're gonna go.
Amy, I'm going to be the first person to ask a question.
I'll be back. All right, so we really still have about a minute to go on this, but I think for the demonstration purposes today, I think you'll be able to see, but it gets so super creamy, and it just kind of slides out of here. So I love just how easy that is to use. So what I'm going to make are these little, almost like little dessert, snacks. So you get just a little burst of sweetness when you've got that sweet tooth. So I'm just starting with 1 bar of cream cheese. So it's been sitting out for about an hour or so. So bar of cream cheese, and then I'm not a measurer, so if you need specific measurements, you may just be out of luck today. So So I did need just 2 little scoops of peanut butter. Now, if you want to add a little bit, sometimes I'll put a little bit of either stevia or swerve brown sugar, just to give it just a tad more, flavor. And then here's the fun part: there are so many great things that are on the market. Like 10 years ago, anybody doing low carb or trying to do low sugar probably were just out of luck. But Lily's is a great brand of chocolate chips that I use a ton. So they've got chocolate chips. They've got, this one is a salted caramel chip. There's a mint chocolate chip. I found a peppermint one around the holidays. So there's just a lot of things that you can do with those. Sometimes I'll just grab a handful of these and just snack on them. You know, if I just need just a tiny little boost, a little something sweet, these are great. Now, of course, you know, anything that you're using that's prepackaged is processed. So you just kind of have to decide, you know, what direction you want to go with that, as far as the sugar and, you know, how your body reacts to that. But anyway, those are just great little shortcuts that I use. All right, so keep in mind, this was just 1 bar of cream cheese, a couple of scoops of peanut butter, a little bit of the brown sugar alternative, and the salted caramel chips. And you guys, that is it. So all I'm gonna do is just I'm gonna just put them on a little baking sheet, and then I'll refrigerate them. Once they harden up, then I'll put them in just a little container that has a lid, and so we're good to go. All right, so there we go. That's just a nice little mixture. It almost looks like a cookie dough. So for this one, I'm just going to do our medium scoop, and then I'm just going to plop it right down here. So, the great thing is my husband and my middle son really like these too. So it's when I'm making these for myself, at least a few of the people in my house enjoy it as well. So, but how easy is that? So, you know, I don't have a huge sweet tooth, but when I do, I do. So that is so helpful to do that. All right, so let's get the rest of that pushed down. Yes.
Does it have like a cheesecake consistency?
It's probably more like a cookie dough consistency, but of course it's the creamy with the cream cheese. So yeah, I would probably say between a cookie dough and a cream cheese, or a cookie dough and a cheesecake. So yeah. All right, good. So how easy was that? They go in the refrigerator, and so they're just kind of hardened up and delicious. So Jennifer, I'm so glad that you mentioned cheesecake, because I'd already forgotten. I made a cheesecake this morning for you guys. So, all right, so I used the Pampered Chef new multi-cooker, which is our version of an Instant Pot. So I'm going to pop some eggs in there too, because that's a great like filler, and you can add to a lot of stuff with that. But the recipe for this, I actually originally started this one in. I've never cooked the cheesecake outside of my pressure cooker. So there is I'm 44 years old, and I'm admitting that I'd never cooked a cheesecake outside of the Jell-O box mix and then I make them in my pressure cooker all the time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be a big girl today. I'm making a cheesecake in here. Well, I realized with the other purposes I had for all the cream cheese I had, I just was going to run short. So this has been a great one. And my husband, who wants all the gluten, all the sugar, all the carbs, like he wants, you know, he doesn't want me to limit him on any of those. He's just kind of a joke with us. But this is a low carb cheesecake from Wholesome Yum, and I will share this with you. So it's a full size, regular size cheesecake that you would make with this. So I would have needed 4 bars of cream cheese, and I just because I always make it in the pressure cooker, I only allotted for 2 in my grocery run. But I love that I made this in the pressure cooker in 40 minutes, and I've varied it around. But basically, the crust is just almond flour, butter, erythritol, which is a sugar substitute. You could use monk fruit. There's a variety of things you could do there, and then vanilla. And then the filling is just cream cheese, a powdered sugar. So sometimes with the erythritol that I use, I don't necessarily want to go and, have just like the granular stuff and then powdered sugar. So I'll put this in my blender, just like the cup or cup and a half that I need, and then put it in the blender.
Sugar that you can eat.
Ellen, I think you're not on mute. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens to the best of us. But I'll put it in the blender and it makes a powdered sugar. So that's not me having to buy two different things that are kind of specialty. But I do, you probably wondering but I've just got a little basket of all of my, like, my helpers that, when I am trying to bake or, cook using anything special. But anyway, it had cream cheese, the erythritol, which I did make into a powder form, eggs, lemon juice, and vanilla. So super, super easy. So let's take it apart. It took 40 minutes for it to cook, and then I've got this delicious cheesecake. So it needs to cool for a couple of hours, and then I'll refrigerate it so it will get nice and set. So you could serve some fresh berries or just eat it just like it is. But we love it. It's just nice, especially if you know that somebody's having a birthday or some kind of special event, and you don't necessarily want to totally skip out on having the treat. You can enjoy that alongside of it. Now here's another great resource that I found, and so you can find it at Walmart occasionally, maybe some other stores, now that it's more common, but I used to get it on Amazon all the time. It's called Carb Quick. Has anybody used Carb Quick? Just by show of hands or pop it in the chat. So Carb Quick is kind of like Bisquick, okay? And I will share everything. I'll go through and take pictures and share with you guys everything that I'm sharing with you today that I found. Now, granted, it's not going to taste exactly like Bisquick, so you got to go ahead and get over that. You can either have the taste or you can have the carb, the lower carb. But this is great. I've made biscuits. I've made pancakes. Just a lot of things. So most recipes are that you're going to make, like the biscuits, for example, are 2 grams of carbs. So I'm not a huge bread eater, but sometimes it's just nice to have a biscuit. Or I make sausage balls with these. Does anybody ever make sausage balls? You're not Southern enough if you don't make sausage balls. But this was a great way that I could do this baking mix. I could do the sausage and then the cheese to make that. But there are tons and tons of recipes right here on the package, or you can go to their website. But just on here, there was a pizza dough, Belgian waffles, a chicken parmesan, a turkey pot pie, cheddar biscuits. So really, it's a great shortcut if you just want to have some of those comforts, some of those comfort foods that you probably love for years and years. And don't want to give them up completely. All right, so real quick, while I've got the pressure cooker on my mind, another thing that I eat a ton of that's a great filler for me are just eggs. So usually a couple of times when I'm really trying to stay on plan, I'll just, you can boil them, but I steam them right here in the pressure cooker because they just peel super easy when I do that. So just real quick, I'm gonna pop a handful of eggs in there. And then I'm just gonna head on over. I'm gonna do custom. And my eggs turn out perfect when I do 12 minutes. So the eggs on custom steam for 12 minutes, and then I'll show you just how easy it is to do. Now, I used to try to do like 12 at a time, and then I read somewhere that really your boiled eggs and stuff shouldn't last more than about, maybe 4 days or something. And I was eating like 2-week-old eggs, and I'm like, okay, let's just adjust that and do something a little bit different. So those will be out shortly. All right, are you guys finding these little shortcuts and some great little things helpful so far? Okay, and then I'll open up for lots and lots of questions shortly. All right, so the next thing, this is probably my favorite, one of my favorite little savory snacks. But I'm just going to take a bar of cream cheese. We've got an everything bagel seasoning that is delicious, absolutely fantastic. So I'm not a measurer, so you have to excuse me for that. But I would say that's probably at least a tablespoon. Once I get it mixed in, I'll probably add some more. Now with this, I've added some other things too. I've added bacon bits, and I've also added cheese, and then green onions. But those, I think that's really ideal if you're going to eat it that day. Typically what I do with this is make it so I can just kind of snack on it throughout the the week. Those would probably be fine, but I don't know. I think the more things you add, like the green onions and stuff, I just don't know. I just try to be mindful of that. All right, so that is it. That is the quick little snack there. So what you can do with these is I just use the small scoop to plop those right on there. And then you can just pop these in your mouth just as a little snack. It's great to throw, like if you were going to have maybe just a little portion of bagel, you could do that, and you would have that great flavor. So it's really not much different than just what the toppings for an everything bagel. Now, has anybody made the low carb bagels? I think it's just a two ingredient recipe. I actually think it might be a Weight Watchers recipe, but I'll share that recipe with you too. I think it's just Greek yogurt and maybe almond flour, but I'll double check. But has anybody had that? Okay, good. So Chris and Christy, how did you guys make that? Would you mind sharing? How did you make yours?
I can't remember. I'm looking up. Mine was a lot of mozzarella cheese, cream cheese. It wasn't what you were just talking about, but they turned out really good.
Okay, good. Yeah.
We made it with sun-dried tomatoes, so it gave it a good flavor.
Yeah, that's perfect. So you've got that nice little.
Yeah, I found the recipe on Pinterest for those.
Okay, perfect. And really what I'd love for you guys to do is share. We're not looking for Pampered Chef recipes here necessarily. I'll be able to share those. We want to hear what you guys have made that's tried and true and you love, because everybody's end goal is the same. It's just to help us to have some new resources. So quick and easy. Preston Swanson can sit here and eat this entire tray of these because they are just so delicious, and we really, really enjoy those. All right, so Becky wants you to share that recipe. So let me see what's in the chat just to catch up.
Yeah, we're looking it up.
Okay, perfect. All right. So one of the questions was, let's see. Oh, where do you find the chips? So over by like where the cake mixes and regular chocolate chips and stuff are. They even have like bars of candy. So I like to, Lily's is delicious. But of course, you have to eat those in small doses because, those alternative sugars sometimes do mess with your tummy. So, all right. Becky, the alternative sugars and flours and stuff, it does take some getting used to because, it just, it's different from what you've had for however many years you've been alive. So it is a little bit of an adjustment in the beginning. But anyway, I just try to keep my eye on the prize. It's not going to be the way my mama made it. However, I want to change my health and go in a positive direction. So I think it's all about mindset. So it is going to be a little bit different. Let's see. All right, so Lori does make that. So Greek yogurt and self-rising flour. So perfect. I love it. Oh, wrap around a hot dog. That is perfect. So that little pretzel stand at the mall, has nothing on her. She's making the yummies. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do, this is a favorite starter that I do for breakfast a ton, because I am just by nature not a huge breakfast eater, but really that's one of the most important ways to get ourselves going, get our blood sugar in a right place, and just off to a good day. So what I've gotten here is just one little just log of just Jimmy Dean sausage, so just the regular sausage. I'm going to pop it right in the microwave for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and doctor it up and do some fun stuff. So I use that as a good starter for quite a few things. I'll use it just to like for my family and then for my small group and a bunch of people. Anytime I have a breakfast and I need to go to, a lot of times I'll do 2 cans of crescent rolls, some pound of sausage, and then a bar of cream cheese. So I just spread that out, bake it, and they make these perfect little squares. They are so delicious. So anytime that I am making that, I just double it. So I'll do 2 pounds of sausage, drain it, put the cream cheese in there, and just save half of that mixture for myself. So I'm going to have the sausage cream cheese, with an egg or with whatever I'm going to have for breakfast at the same time that they're eating the one with the crescent rolls. So that is really, really handy. Another thing that I'm going to be showing you, this is a great appetizer or even a side dish, because I think sometimes, folks just like, I'm tired of eating salads. I'm just eating too many salads. So what I'll do with that cream cheese and sausage mixture is stuff mushrooms and stuffed peppers, and you can pop those in the oven or even the air fryer. So I'll pop in the air fryer today so you guys can check that out. Now, one of the things I think, especially for the mushrooms that we love, usually is that cracker or the panko breadcrumbs and stuff. So what I'm going to do is just add some pork rinds. So pork rinds are a great way to get the crunch. So a lot of people will use these to pop, pop on some chicken to give it that little crunchiness that you're looking. And they're just an all around good snack. Now, if you're just getting into low carb, you've got to be mindful, make sure if this is a lifestyle that you're hoping to embark on, that maybe start at your doctor and just share with them, here's what I'm trying to do, and do your labs, because sometimes with the things that we're eating, it could increase your cholesterol. So by all means, anything like that, consult with your doctor, but especially if you're already running into some issues. So, but I just have some. Those are barbecue pork rinds, and so that's going to go in before I fill these little things. So what a great little appetizer idea. And you know what? Everybody loves them. Really nobody knows that it's a lower carb option when I'm taking to an event or to a party. Here is another fun little thing that I'll actually pop in the air fryer in just a few minutes. But again, so many places are catering to folks that do low carb. So this is a little street taco that's a carb counter. So for this one, for each one of these, it's 5 grams of carb, but then 5 fibers. So it's no carbs after all is said and done, which is really cool. So this is a perfect way that you could make yourself a little sandwich. So I'll use like some deli meat or even like peanut butter, that the peanut butter that's doesn't have all the additives, and have just a little sandwich. There's some great breads out on the market. I haven't really gotten into those because, like I said before, I can do with or without bread. I'd rather just eat my protein. So I'll take maybe a cucumber and some turkey, and then add a little bit of mustard, and that's a perfect little roll up for me. I don't necessarily need the bread, but this has been a great way that I can have tacos. So here's an example. I ordered out last night, so I got islands, and instead of getting my dollar tacos that I really wanted, I chose to get a salad. So that's another big thing that I do. I'll get a salad with the same proteins and whatever I want. Now, am I completely getting rid of the carbs? No way. I'm going to have some of the chips, but I made a mindful choice to have a handful of chips rather than the 2 taco shells and all the beans and stuff that I would normally eat. So I think a lot of it's just making wise decisions on things like that. All right, so this is a fun little chip idea that you could do. So if we had done Mexican at home, this is probably what I would have done in place of it. So I'm just going to take 2 of these little tortilla rounds and use the pizza cutter to cut those into, I'll do it a little bit smaller. Cut those into little rounds. So now I've got little triangles, and there's a couple of things that I can do with it. So what I do just typically with regular flour tortillas is I take just take the little pastry brush, lay those out, and just brush a little bit of water right on it. Now, when I do the appleberry salsa, that many of you, if you have been to a cooking show of mine, there's a good chance that you have had that, because I love that recipe. So typically what I do with that recipe is just take good old flour tortillas. I've even done that for a couple of gluten-free hosts recently. So we did a gluten-free tortilla, and they are not bad. They're really not bad at all. But I'd brush a little bit of water. So if I were doing for the appleberry salsa, typically I do cinnamon and sugar. So of course I could sub out maybe a little bit of the stevia or the swerve brown sugar, to add, to give it just a little sweet taste. Now for these, instead of doing sugar, I'm just going to do salt so I could eat it, because we've got some leftover salsa and guacamole from yesterday. So I am going to just quickly add a little bit of salt. And then, of course, these can go in the oven, or I'll put them in the air fryer today, but they'll go in the air fryer for probably about 8 minutes. In the oven, it's usually about 8 to 10 minutes to do that on 400. So how cool is that? So you can enjoy the same delicious, chips and salsa with your family. And listen, when I was really, really on plan, I would show up with a little baggie of stuff, like, whatever, lower carb, whatever, right out of my purse, and just scoop the salsa. Now, you've really won when you can totally just bypass the salsa at the Mexican restaurant. So I haven't gotten to that level of strength yet either. All right, so we've got the sausage. I should have broken it up a little bit more, but I'm going to use the mix and chop to break that up. Now, here's a little just a paper chop tip for you. Those of you that love the mix and chop, don't go straight into your wet, totally uncooked meat, like whether it's sausage or ground beef or turkey, because what happens is you get all that raw meat that's just hung up right there on your mix and chop. So let it get started on cooking, and then get it chopped up. So that was really, really easy. Now, this is a new item that came out July 1st, and I'm really, really excited. So this is our new version of a mix and chop, which is really cool. So not only with this one, you can mix, chop, and then also serve. So how neat is that? If you've seen a catalog, you probably, from the beginning of March, you probably realized that it was not in the catalog because we had some quality issues, but Paper Chef totally rectified that and came back with an awesome choice. All right, so I'm going to add another 2 minutes to this. All right, is anybody getting hungry? Like, how exciting are all these ideas? So go ahead and start your grocery list. Tomorrow would be a great prep day for you to get your week off to a great start. So, and that's the cool thing here is I am totally off to a great start for my week with what's going on. All right, so here's another thing that I use a ton of. You have to be mindful when you're using prepared sauces because a lot of times the sugar, there is a good bit of sugar that's added. The Rayos, I think, is probably the one that has the lowest carbs and the lowest amount of sugar that I found. It is not cheap, but sometimes you can find it at Sam's or Costco and get it in like a 2-pack. And then even at Food Line or Walmart, sometimes they're on sale. So I stock up on these, and these are great just to dump right out of the dish and warm up, or you can add to your favorite, whether it's sausage or hamburger, to make a sauce. But I do just a lot of things with this. In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you a cheese stick, a little low carb cheese stick that I love to make. And so that's perfect. It's almost like a mozzarella cheese stick, so you could dip. So I can do that without all the guilt that I usually do. Now, another main dish that I love to do when my family is having, we do homemade pizzas sometimes, or stromboli. So I'll just take a small dish, either like just the little, small, just a small dish like that, or even a little small stoneware piece. And I'll layer it with cheese. I'll put some sauce, and then I add the veggies that I want. So I love onions and bell peppers. I'll put like black olives, and then I love all the toppings like ham and pepperoni, sausage, different things like that. And then just layer it until we get to the top. And then basically what I've made is a pizza bowl, so I'm going to have all the flavors of pizza without, having this extra carbs, because I've seen people take whole pizzas and just eat the toppings off of it. And I'm like, and then they have all the leftover bread. So that's just a great way that you can incorporate those flavors. All right. So now our sausage is completely done, and this didn't seem to be too greasy, so I think we're in good shape there. And then I'm just going to add 1 bar of cream cheese. Now I'm single-handedly maybe the reason that there's a cream cheese shortage. I'm not sure, but it was hard on me when it was not available. I've used so many of my scrapers, I had to resort to other mixing tools, and it just feels funny. All right, so again, oftentimes I just put this in a bowl and I will just serve it during breakfast. Just getting a couple of bites of this is a great way to start, but it's also a super filler in these things like the peppers and mushrooms. But I am going to take just a little bit out because I don't want the pork rinds in all of it. I just want it in what I'm going to bake. All right, so I'm just going to take a little scoop there, and then the rest of that will be great for breakfast. All right, so 4 more minutes on the eggs. So, there we go. So the pork rinds, so those are barbecue flavor. I've not tried it with the barbecue. I usually just have the regular, but it's just, when it comes out of the air fryer, you can see how nice and crispy it is. So that's pretty cool. All right, so this one. Now, when I was prepping these this morning, I did leave the end on it because I was like, that's just pretty. That's just for presentation. That's pretty, but you could certainly cut that off. So tried to leave that. And then of course I'm going to use my scoop loop to get those seeds out. So that makes it really easy. Hopefully there's enough room for this last one. Oh yeah, so that's perfect. Great little appetizer. And then I'm just going to stuff that right in. My friends at Bunko like this. Just anytime you need a quick little appetizer. And again, this is right up my alley. Like I could totally skip, having a bread or even having a dessert most of the time. I want all the appetizers. Give me all the appetizers. So I could just make a meal out of appetizers. And sometimes I do. Like, let's just get 3 appetizers for dinner and call it a night. And that was a pretty good amount for the non-measurer. So quick and easy. So cool. All right. All right, once the pressure cooker gets done, I'll trade out with the air fryer so you guys can see just how cool that is as well. Now here's another, probably hands down my absolute favorite little snack that we do all the time. So Preston, for any of you that have been in parties of mine, you've met Preston because he loves to be on camera and loves to do videos with me. So what I've got here, you could do this on a plate. This is the toaster oven bar pan. And I love doing it on the stoneware because it helps season. So you're getting all of that grease to do the seasoning process with this. So I just take whatever pepperonis I have in the refrigerator. We eat a ton of these anyway. I'm going to pop this in the microwave for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Okay. So if you love the crispiness of the pepperonis, like on a pizza, you know, that's usually what I do. If I see one of those super crispy ones, I grab it and just go ahead and eat it right off of the pizza. This is fantastic. Some days we go through entire bags of pepperonis, just making, and we just call it burnt pepperoni. So that is the official name at the Swanson house, burnt pepperoni. All right, so perfect timing. Our eggs are done. So I'm just going to shift this around. Our quick cooker was updated to the deluxe multi cooker just this season. A couple of really nice things that they've done to make it even easier for you. Grab some ice. And of course, you guys are getting a snippet of a lot of my products. My main focus, I wanted to be on the recipes and some ideas. But if there are specific products that you want to know more about or have questions, by all means, you know, we can have a chat offline. But I could either spend all the time talking about the products or sharing even more recipes. So I figured you guys would appreciate that. So, but I can share lots and lots of ideas with you later. All right, and then I'm just going to use the tongs to take those out. And then the trick that I found, in addition to steaming them, is doing an ice bath after they're done. So I've got some ice in there. I'm going to add some water. And then just before we're done, I'll peel one just so you can see how easy it is to take everything off for that. All right, so let's stop for a second because I'm going to jump into some chicken and zucchini, a couple of different ways so you can prep that. So what questions do we have? Let's see. I think. All right, so we got the bagel recipe. So thank you, Chris, for sharing that. Yep, the pepper and mushroom idea is great. Okay, so that's a great idea, Lori, about the dill pickles. I just saw another one where you can take dill pickles and just like cheddar cheese, put the cheddar cheese, the pickle, more cheddar cheese, and bake that. So I am so excited to try that. So let's get some. Let's share that. Do I recommend low fat or regular cream cheese? I personally do regular cream cheese, especially if you're following a keto diet, because you want the higher good fats. And that's just a good way to do it because you have to have a certain amount of fats really to have some good, you know, like good weight loss, because sometimes you're not getting enough fat, like the good fats like avocado and stuff. And cream cheese is a good way to do it. Yep, so you can definitely take those to school and stuff. Oh, Chris, yep. Chris, you just need to make me some pickles and bring them on over. I'll share my snacks if you share yours. So, all right, let me show you the burnt pepperonis. All right, and in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, we have the crispiest, most delicious burnt pepperoni. And I'll actually just taste it so you can hear. It's just good. And the longer they sit, the crispier they get. So super, super easy and delicious. Preston, would you like one? Preston smelled them. He came from downstairs or came from upstairs.
I can finish these things in less than 2 minutes.
All right. So now,
Jamie.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the microwave?
Yep, that was right in the microwave. Now you could do it in the air fryer, but I typically just pop it right in the microwave because I've got the timing down perfect. Now I have done. We've put them on plates before, and sometimes my plates get so hot that they crack. So I found that either the small pizza pan or the individual pizza pan size is good. The small bar pan, even the medium bar pan fits in my microwave. So sometimes we will load it up. So we definitely lost more than one plate to our hot pepperonis in the microwave. So. Yeah. All right. So why don't you guys ask some questions that you have or some things that you've been thinking of that you'd like to know a little bit more about, or even just take some time to share while I start shifting some things around. You guys think of anything? And you can come off of the mute because I want to hear you. I want to hear the questions that you've got.
I don't have questions. I just need to find my motivation again.
Yeah, and that was me, Kim. It was just like, and what I found, I never one day felt like I was when I was really doing it and doing well. I never felt like I was missing anything because I found so many substitutes and ways to get my fix for whatever it was that I wanted. And it usually was like the crispy and then the savory stuff. So there's cream cheese balls, the pepperonis, and those are just great little like in between fillers because again, you know, you can easily make a salad with a protein. You can do things like that make your life a lot easier. But it was just that in between, like, oh my gosh, I don't have anything prepped. So now I'm going to eat some Cheetos, kind of things that I would get myself into. All right. So another great way to lower your carbs is to do just what we call smart swaps. So instead of having spaghetti noodles, trade it out for things like zucchini. So that's a great thing to do. So I've even done like a zucchini lasagna. So put the sliced zucchini in the place of the lasagna noodle. I do a lot of spiralizing, so that's really helpful and handy too. So I'm going to save about half of this, and then I'm going to show you how to make some zucchini fries, which are fantastic. And it's the paper chef recipe in the air fryer. Now, I'm not going to make the fries because I didn't have the tapioca. There's a couple of things I just didn't have, but I'm going to show you just how easy it is. Because, once you kind of lose the taste for some of those carbs and you know that you can have some delicious alternatives, they all of a sudden are pretty good. So, all right. So with the spiralizer, here's a way, especially if you're trying to introduce this to your whole family, please do them a favor and yourself too, and don't just go straight zucchini. Nobody's going to like you for that. Okay. I'm just going to tell you that just that there's your little quick tip for today. So my suggestion would be to start in the beginning, half spaghetti noodle, half zucchini. Okay, incorporate those and then gradually back the pasta out and incorporate more of the zucchini. So this is a perfect just side. So sometimes I'll steam it and just have it on the side. A lot of times I just do a little salt and maybe some lemon juice and just pop it in the microwave for like 4 minutes, and it's easily done. And then when I'm really being good, I'll put my spaghetti sauce or my grilled chicken. And I like to do bruschetta pasta, so that's a great way for me to. Whoever wants the spaghetti noodles can have that. I'll do the zucchini with the bruschetta and the chicken, which is really easy. So the spiralizer is a great way to make those zoodles way easy. Now I was at Food Line yesterday, and I was looking at the prepped convenience foods. And for some people, that just is the route they need to go. But you guys, they charge so much more per pound when you are getting them already sliced, spiralized. Same thing with chicken. I'm going to slice some chicken in a minute and show you. But when you get the thin cut chicken, you're paying like, usually I can get, well, not lately, everything's been more expensive, but a lot of times I can get boneless, skinless chicken breast for $1.99 a pound, maybe $2.50. You're paying $4.50 or more for the thin cut, chicken or pork chop, so you're just paying a lot more. So there's definitely some money saving that you can do with that. And then my question is, when they go ahead and prep your your zucchini and different things like that, what are they putting on it to make it like still fresh, for you to eat a week later? So you just kind of have to just figure those things out too. All right, so there's 3 different ways that you can cut with the spiralizer. The first I'm going to do is just a ribbon, and you guys, it's so easy. Like with one finger, I can do it. Easy peasy. So that is, if there was a certain dish that you wanted to do for it to be like a wider ribbon, and then you could even with this would be a great like noodle for the lasagna and different things like that. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is there's two different cuts that you can do. So you can do a fettuccine, which is the thicker, and then a spaghetti, which is the thinner. So I'm going to start with the thinner. But here's the trick for this. You're going to want to put that little safety part down so the blade goes in just like it needs to. Okay. Oop, it didn't because I had a bunch of zucchini in there. So let me. There we go. We want it even, not at an angle. All right, so I'm going to take that same little piece of zucchini, and of course you start with an appropriate size. You know, get what will fit in there, pop it down, and then just gonna go. So this is the thinner cut. So this might be a good way to kind of add some zucchini to your recipes. And for some reason it didn't spiralize, it just didn't come in the longer section. So I'm not sure what happened there, but normally it does. So hopefully with the fettuccine cut, it will, but it's real tiny, almost impossible to even see. Now, if your family's visual eaters and they question everything, is that an onion? Is that a pepper? Peel it. Just use the vegetable peeler, get the outside, off of it, and it's really pretty white and clear. One of my kids is standing right here, so he's learning all my tricks. So don't tell your brothers.
No, I just
You just want the zucchini. Come over here and eat this zucchini. He just loves the raw zucchini. So he's my spirit animal. That's Preston, for those of you that don't know. All right, so now I'm gonna flip it over and do the fettuccine, which is the one that I use the most because it's got a lot more, just I don't know, it's just more substance to it, and it just cooks up really well. There we go. That's what we were looking for. So you've got the nice little noodles. Usually what I do is I'll just snip it or cut it. So I'm not playing Lady and the Tramp with that. But usually I'll do 2 zucchinis and then pop it in a micro cooker for about 4 minutes. I'll add just a splash of water, a little bit of salt, and then of course it's got a lot of liquid in it. So make sure you drain it real good, or whatever you're eating with it. It's just going to be probably a little more just wet than you want it to. So quick and easy, and a much better alternative to pasta. When you're trying to go lower carb. All right. So this is fine. This is my baby. I love my rapid prep mandolin. I actually was showing. I'm not sure if Tasha's on here, but I was at the hospital yesterday and I was showing her a video on how awesome and how easy this is to use. So perfect for slicing things like potatoes, onions, cucumbers. So you can slice at let's see. I've got it on that. So I'll slice this one. So anytime I want slices like onion ring, not onion rings, but rings of onion, or a cucumber, just little round parts, you want to put it cut side down. So you can get that. Now you've got between a number 1 and a number 8. So that's a nice thick number 8. But if I wanted it super thin, maybe to pop in the air fryer, that would be a number 1. So you've got a much, just a huge difference in that. So I can do that. Now, if I were going to go more for a fry cut, what I'm going to do is make sure that it fits in here, and then I want it to hit here rather than here. That makes sense. So I'm going to lay it on its side, and then I'm going to switch it over to the thickest, which is the number 8. And then we're going to go to the French fry setting. So there's a French fry, there's a slice, and then there's even a julienne. So I'm going to get that right there. And then you've got nice fry, just great little sizes for French fries. So you can do French fries, sweet potato. You can also do the zucchini fries. And so one of the recipes that I've got ready to share with you a little bit later is the zucchini fry with some great little crispiness that you can do either in the oven or the air fryer. So quick and easy. So that is a great way to incorporate some easiness. All right, let's see. I've only got, I was hoping to keep this to an hour, but we may go over by about 10 minutes. So if anybody needs to leave, no problem. But I hope you're getting some value and some excitement in what I'm sharing with you today.
I know I am.
You are. So Preston, the day he turns 18, he will be a pampered chef consultant, and he's trying to go to our home office and negotiate that. He really thinks that he should be able to sign up when he turns 10. So that would be fun. All right, so real quick, I'm gonna prep some chicken breast. There's a plate of 4 chicken breasts in there. So one of the great ways that, especially working from home, but probably even more for those of you that work away from home. So you either have to take in a sandwich or like you end up going out to eat. You just sometimes it just gets a little trickier to make better choices and decisions. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll grill up just a big batch of chicken at the beginning of the week. So it just allows me to just be ready. So sometimes I just grab a little portion of chicken and just eat it. Like I'll just either warm it. Sometimes I eat it cold right out of the refrigerator because it's that protein that's going to fill us rather than those carbs, because those carbs are short-term fillers, but it just makes you crave even more. So lots and lots of protein I try to be prepared with. So by having the chicken grilled up in advance, it's easy for me to add to a salad. I could add to one of these low carb deals here, make a tortilla, like a little taco, just a variety of things that I could do there. Again, I told you that by buying the pre-cut thinner cut dishes or thinner cut meats, you're paying more per pound. So our closing cut's a great way to get that, to get that thinner cut, because number one, it cooks faster. And then number two, this is probably closer to the portion size that we should be eating anyway versus the whole thing. Now, a lot of times what I'll do, same thing with chicken tenders. I love cooking chicken tenders, just the boneless, skinless chicken tenders, but what you're paying per pound, you could actually just slice this chicken up and do the same thing. So I'll just do 2 of those for now. So now what I'll do, leave that over presto. So what I'll do is just put these here. I'll just use a little bit of our kitchen spritzer. I'll just do that. And then I'm going to use the garlic because that would pretty much go with anything. If I were going to turn this into something for a salad or into something Italian, that garlic should be good to go and be a-okay. All right, so those are ready. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my grill. So I could have used my single since I'm only doing 4 portions, but I'm going to do the double. Also with our deluxe grill and grill, I just ran out of room. I was like, I need stovetop space rather than counter space. So that's a great way to do it. With the size of this, once I get it preheated, probably about 4 to 5 minutes per side should do the trick for that. So quick and easy. I'm not dependent on the outside grill for that. Right, so I'm going to preheat that on medium for just a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to bring the air fryer over because we've got lots of things that it owes me. So air fryer has just probably been one of my favorite items in the 25 years that I've loved and known that I'm pampered chef. So lots of things that you can do there. And I think sometimes people think air fryer convenience foods like Hot Pockets and things. Not at all. I do rotisserie chickens. I do fresh chicken wings. I do things like this. With ours, you've got everything from an air fry. You can bake, you can roast. You've got the rotisserie. You can reheat. You can dehydrate. So many things in one. I live here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and it is hot a lot. So if I can avoid having to crank up my stove or my oven and just use this, that is certainly a good plan. So I'm going to pop those right on the bottom. And remember those little tortilla chips I had earlier? Preston, can you help me lay that? Or actually, you just hold that. And then I'm going to put those tortillas. And I'm probably about the same amount of time, maybe about 8 minutes or so should do the trick. I'll rotate about halfway through. It may take a little more time, but that's okay. You can always add time. You can't take it away. I've learned that the hard way over the years too. So we'll start here. I'm I'm gonna pop it on the bake cycle and then just do it for 8 minutes and it's gonna be good to go. All right, with your kitchen spritzer, remember to burp the baby. If not, it will build up a lot more pressure than you're looking for. One other thing that I was hoping to do, but I'm just not sure if we'll have time, is I take, well, Preston, grab the cheese sticks, the mozzarella cheese sticks. Mozzarella cheese sticks, you know, it's just the cheese sticks that you would pop in your, like the lunchbox or just have as a little snack. I've got them on the top, like on the top by the T. So what I'll do is I'll cut those in half, put them in a frying pan and rotate on all 4 sides. So with this one, you can, you know, just what I'll do is I'll use it for a little dip, you know, with that Rayo's little sauce. So that's a great way to just give it a little bit of crunch. Now I have found, you know, you'll find different cheeses do, you know, do better in some ways. So this is cheese from Aldi. Sometimes it just flattens out. Sometimes the more popular, you know, like Kraft or whatever, it will actually hold the form with that. So maybe we'll get that up and see. Right, so we'll get that going. We're just a couple of minutes away from our from the chicken being ready. And then the final thing that I'm going to do is show you another fun snack. You could do it as a side dish. But Preston and I love kale, so we do kale chips in the microwave, or excuse me, in the air fryer. So I just buy a bag of kale. Sometimes I get the fresh kale, you know, that you just have on the stem. But this is great. This and spinach are just a great, you know, just thing to add. Preston got really excited. This is a great way to add to your diet and just really good, especially if you're following keto. So with this, all I'm going to do is spritz it. You don't want too much oil, but you do want enough to get crispy. Pressurize that. And then I'm going to add a little bit of salt. What is super impressive about this is it only takes 4 minutes. So 2 minutes on the top, then I rotate and do 2 minutes, you know, with it on the bottom. So I'll have 2 different trays in there. So quick and easy. Love to do this. The downside of this is it makes your house smell terrible. So anytime that I make kale chips or Brussels sprouts, my husband comes in and he's like, "What are you doing?" But anyway, you know, when 2 of us are crazy about it, we just keep going with it. All right, so just to give you an idea with the cheese sticks, what I'm going to do is just try to turn that. It wasn't quite brown enough. But again, we're basically going to get the crispiness that we love from the mozzarella cheese sticks without the breading and the extra stuff on there. And it is like a 3-ring circus at my house like this all the time. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, she's doing a lot, this is not uncommon. All right, so let's move the chicken over. Now, with the grill pan, I put the presses down to start with. The presses down so I get the direct heating on the bottom and the indirect heating on the top. So it's going to make it cook faster. It doesn't dry out, so it's really a lovely, lovely color and taste. Let's check these out. All right, we'll do another 4 minutes. We may need a little bit more. All right, so everything's kind of in cook mode now. So why don't you guys come off mute, ask the questions that you got. Yeah, ask the questions that you guys have, and yeah, just share some other ideas that you've got, because this is, again, sharing is caring. So we'll let it rip.
I just want to know when Preston got so big.
I know, yeah. Yeah, him and Noah both, they are just growing way too big, way too fast. I can't handle it. Yeah. So for those of you, so here's Preston. I made Fisher go to his daddy and get off of your tiptoes. Stop it. And then look at this monster. He's going to high school. So there's the smoke detector. We've got a super sensitive smoke detector. Well, we found a great use for the flexible cutting mat. So Preston is right over there. Just the family. Only twice ever before in videos has it done this, but we're always prepared for it. One more. Perfect. I forgot to turn the vent on earlier. All right, so this was the color I was looking for in the cheese stick. Again, normally, like if I do like a name brand, it will hold the form, so it really presents like a cheese stick. But I'm going to tell you, these little flat ones are not too bad either for like a mozzarella cheese stick. So far, look at how beautiful that chicken is. We're getting some great color. Lots of all right, a couple more minutes there. All right. What other questions? If other than waiting for everything to finish up, I'll give you what I've got for today. All right. So what was everybody's favorite? What are you most excited to try first?
I do a lot of deviled eggs
Okay.
and the cream cheese. I chopped walnuts and chopped up green olives,
Oh,
celery.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. That's actually something my grandmother used to make for Thanksgiving appetizer every year. And I was so happy when I started keto that because it's one of my favorite, once a year thing.
Really, any of the cheese balls that you can do. Like my mom just does a green olive and cream cheese, like it's an olive cheese ball, and so that's great too. Perfect to scoop like with a cucumber or even celery. Just a perfect way to just to get something yummy. So just because you're trying to be mindful of the things you're eating, you certainly don't have to compromise the taste. So. So Kayla wanted to know the pan that I use for the peppers and mushrooms. That's actually our modular sheet pan set. So I'll show you the other. So we have two of that size, like the toaster oven size, and then what I had the sweeter ones in. So you can do it's kind of like for sheet pan meals. So you could do your main dish and then a side and a carb or whatever, and then it fits right in a sheet pan. So it's really neat. And I love the fact that the two smaller ones go right in the air fryer. So good. Yep, snacking is the hardest part. That's what I found too, Christy, is super tricky to just be good, because you can, most of the time we do a great job, or not even a great job, but we can do a pretty good job, like just skipping the potatoes, because whatever I make for my family, I just make the wiser choices, for myself. But the snacks are what get us. That's usually fun.
I think the trick is to have snacks on hand at all times. So when you just feel hungry, you don't have to take the time to prepare anything. So when I first started keto, and I never did strict keto. I was always lazy keto, but the first 3 months I lost 30 pounds, and then COVID hit, and I was terrified about what I was going to be able to find in the stores. And I managed to continue to lose weight, 20 more pounds. And then I maintained for a year, and then I've just slowly been falling off the wagon. So I just don't keep a lot of the healthier choices for me on hand.
There it is again. Thank you, Preston. All the sources are off. It's just so sensitive, so I do apologize. But how nice is that? So it took me, you know, from prep to preheat, about 10 minutes total to, you know, to have some chicken that is ready for whatever I want it for. Now, of course, I can share that with my whole family, or that can just be an easy way that I, you know, make something for myself that's quick and easy. I could just chop that up, even make a little chicken salad, or, you know, there's just the sky's the limit on what I could do. Let's check this real quick. I think if I were, I probably will pop this in for a little bit longer, just to be a little bit crispier. But how pretty is that? But I want to show you and then these have a nice little crisp to it as well. So those were just the chips with right here, buddy. And we're gonna eat good today. Yeah. All right, and then with the kale chips, what I'm gonna do, but I do want you to just hang tight so you can see just how crispy these are in a total of 4 minutes. So you try to do it without overlapping them. Just try to do it in a just easy, just one layer. It was really funny, like, you know, what I think it was last year, what 8-year-old would go looking for kale. One day, Preston made back-to-back 4 different batches of this. He had 2 racks at a time. So we really loved it. So I'm just going to do 4 minutes, and then I will rotate it down. So just so it gets, you know, the top and bottom exposure. What I found with the kale chips, and same thing if I do zucchini in the air fryer, they don't stay super crispy for, you know, more than a day or two. So that's one of those that, since it's so quick to do, I try to just do in the moment, you know, so I'll make it then. I guess if you put it in a Ziploc bag or something, it does, but it's just not quite as crispy and quite as, you know, delicious as I'm looking for. So, all right, what other questions? Oh, lettuce wrap with ground chicken. Yeah, that sounds like a good, like, PF Chang's situation. So yeah, that is perfect. Yeah, I bought the ingredients to make our egg roll in a bowl, but then once I started pulling out all the other things I had planned, I was like, there's no way that I'll have the time to do that. So watch my business page maybe later this week, and hopefully I'll be able to make that. But I am going to invite each one of you. We've got a brand new party platform called Table. And they've got a whole low carb outline in there. So I will share some resources here in the Facebook group, but I'd love for you guys to check out our new platform that's called Table, because there's the low carb options are already preloaded there. So certainly let me know, you know, what you think, you know, about that. Now, if you saw something today that you're like, oh my gosh, like I so wanted to get that air fryer, you know, that simple slate, or the rapid prep mandolin, or anything at all, you guys know, most of you have been around long enough to know the best way to do that is by having a party. July host can get any one item at 60% off. So if it's been a bigger item that you would love to add to your kitchen, like that double burner grill pan, or even something small, it doesn't have to be anything big. I'd love to chat with you about doing a party. I'm back to doing in-home parties, so love to help you with that. I am doing, I love to do Zoom parties. So how much fun is this? And I know Lori has been a part of some of my Zoom parties before, when I incorporate into like a Facebook party. We even have what's called a 15-minute express party. So it is 15 minutes worth of texting. So I have 10 videos or posts that I share, and just in 15 minutes. So short, sweet, and to the point. So for those of you that are Pampered Chef junkies that don't need a multiple day event, that's a great way to do it. But of course, our Zoom parties are a lot of fun because you can ask the questions. You get to you know, hear specifically from me. So anyway, but thank you guys again. I hope this was a good use of your hour and 15 minutes on a Saturday morning. And I would absolutely love for you to share any of your recipes. So Chris, we've got that Facebook group, or once I get you guys invited to the table, share it in one place, both places, because I'm not sure who will come from where, but feel free to also invite any of your friends to look and share their resources too, because the more we know, the better we'll be. So, all right, you guys have a great day, and thanks again. We'll see you later. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks, Jamie.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks. Leaving.